Hello and welcome. It's a good day to be on the farm. This is Somerset Farms, episode 7, and my name is Chuck. And we're just waking up in October, so let's go ahead and fold the bed up. Come on out, shut the door. It's 9:09 in the morning. We didn't really have to get up that early today because there's not a ton we need to do to our existing fields. We've got canola over here to the left, and we've got canola over on 36 across the road. And we got that big field right behind us, small field right behind us that was full of sorghum. So that is kind of our goal for the day, is to get that plowed. And then we can decide kind of what we want to do from there. And then we need to see what we want to do with the series next. If we want to get a fourth field somewhere, if we want to move forward with some other aspects of the game. So we're going to go ahead and park this, because if we're going to plow, we're going to need our big tractor here, our Case Magnum, because that is a big plow, and it's kind of made my little tractors do took the front wheels off the ground a little bit. So we're going to want to grab our large weight here, get that lifted up, and then we'll get this plow brought over as well. And we'll get field 18 taken care of. Now, some of you might be wondering why we're even going to bother plowing field 18 if we might end up just putting like a chicken coop and some other things on there. And that is a good point. But we'll talk about that here in a second. Sorry. I wanted to check over here and see what our expected yield is. So we're at 97% expected yield. A little short on pH, but our nitrogen is great. 97% expected yield, 100% yield potential. So again, that field 36 we bought has turned out to be a great deal at 116 to 118% yield expected on it, because of the soil quality. So that has worked out in our favor. It's too bad we didn't get pH spread on it earlier, to get lime spread on it to increase the pH, but that is okay. So we're going to go ahead and just cut through the bushes here. Really wish I could landscape some of those out of here, but to each his own. So we're going to go ahead and just start working on getting this plowed. And then once we get it kind of squared off, and we know we're kind of doing, see, 180 would be right there. So when we're coming back, we can probably actually, so let's get this, how do you rotate it? There we go. I think get this rotated. We want to push that soil out towards the edge of the field. And let's make sure our map is set up as well to measure. Yeah, so here's our plowed. Now, obviously there's weeds there, but the weeds will be taken off when we plow, so that shouldn't be a problem. So let's go ahead and lower this. And we'll start pulling this. We're going to zoom out a little bit so we can see the field status, and we're not quite getting to the edge there, so let's kind of cut that in a little bit closer. And let's really get up on the edge here, so we know that we're getting this plowed now that we're about at 180 degrees. That won't quite get to the edge there, unfortunately. So we're going to go ahead and lift this. And we're actually just going to back up and do this extra little section because it just got wide right there. So we'll come to here, lower that again. And I got to figure out kind of where the edge of this width goes. But I think that will take care of that, and that has cleaned out that section, except for that little tiny bit on the corner. We'll obviously have to clean up that row when we come back. Let's get turned around, and we can run up that way. We'll rotate it. We'll try to find our 180 degree line and get ourselves a straight line. I suppose we're 360 at this point. That's what we're looking for. Try to find our 360 line and try to get a straight one all the way across the field here. So get that lowered. This is a pretty big plow, but even then it's not, like, pretty big plows don't even look that wide on the field. It does take quite a few strips to make this work. And normally I plow with one of the mods that makes it straight across, just because that is easier. But this field is long and narrow, so the best kind of field for me trying to figure out how to use one of these plows effectively, like so. So we'll lift that up. We're going to come back here and we'll clean up this little section that we missed in the beginning. And now we've got a pretty straight line. That looks a lot better. So we'll get this. Nope. Not rotate. We want to lower. Get this taken care of here. And we'll come back. And we're literally going to drive halfway off the field here. And lower this. And just try to get the rest of this corner taken care of. Make sure we've got plenty of plowed area on this edge. And a little bit of sorghum right there. So, yeah, that's looking a lot better. Okay, let's go down and do the same thing over here on the other end. Looks like we also have rain coming in today. I don't know if I mentioned that at the top of the episode, but we're going to want to keep an eye on that as we're going. Let's see, this is pretty straight, where we can drive kind of off the edge of the field here and just get a nice clean line. And also right around the 360 degrees. We'll start way back here and see if we can get a nice edge here. And then once we get that up and running, we can maybe get a worker going on this and go on to the next job. Can't see much of anything in the shadows of these trees. But yeah, that looks pretty clean, pretty straight. Just missing a little bit up here on the corner. And a little strip right there, which we won't worry about. We will, however, come back and get this little edge piece here, just to make sure that we've gotten everything taken care of for this side. Alright, and then if we've got this, let's just run down to this end. We'll stick it on a worker while we kind of move around and talk about the next thing, because I want to make sure this gets done before the rain comes. But I also want to make sure if there's anything else we're going to do in October that we have time to do it. So let's rotate it first. Gotta get a little closer to the edge, I think. Drop it right about here. We're pretty much lined up. We'll go ahead and drop that in and see if Fred can do a better job than I could plowing. So far, looks like it's going splendid for Fred. So we'll let him work on that. And let's take a look with, let's take this, the small case, and we'll go see what we've got going on. So first thing I wanted to look at is we'll jump out, take a look at the weather, see what time that rain is coming. That might influence some of the things we decided to do. So it's coming at about 2 o'clock, 1400, and raining for the rest of the day. So we've got till 2 o'clock, so about another 4 hours of game time in case there's anything else we want to get done. Next thing I want to do is look at the planting schedule. Sorry, wrong way. There we go. So we can still plant wheat or barley this season in October, and that's about it. We could plant grass in November if we wanted to. So if we can get this field plowed up, we can theoretically plant some grass in it in November if we wanted to. So that's fine. But in the meantime, we need to take a look at some of the other fields around here and see if there's anything else we want to buy, because we do have $1.1 million and a lot of equipment. So we really can expand the farm a little bit if we want. The other thing I was going to do is maybe bring that herbicide back, but didn't grab my forks, so that's okay. We'll leave it down there for now. The guy at the shop won't be too bad, hopefully. So we've got 15, 18, and 36. Field 16 here is that corn. We don't have the right header for that, and our harvester's a little small anyway, so I think that's kind of a wash. We did originally talk about this field 17 with these soybeans, that this might be a good one for us to get. They're 59% yield potential. Soybeans growing, also going to need plowing, but we do have a plow. Let's take a look at this one a little bit closer and see what we can find out about this. So if we select this field, it won't tell us anything about it because we don't own it. So environmental score details, it is nitrogen, pH, weed control, soil sampling, tillage, 59. I don't think that's correct. So when we're looking at it, this one is almost all loamy sand. So that's that loamy sand patch we saw just in the top of 36. Must continue up here through 17. And the expected yield potential is negative. It's at 79. So we're going to lose. The best we could get is 80% of the yield we should get. So yeah, that's right. That's why we decided to not mess around with that field. I think we need to take a look at some of the fields that are over on the other side of 36 there. So that's why we passed on 17 originally. Well, not why, but one of the factors. And I want to trade out my tractors. I just realized we still have our cultivator sitting out there over by field 36. So let's get this parked back up because this one isn't heavy enough for that cultivator. But I'll tell you which one is, and that would be that McCormick. So let's go ahead and park this here, run and grab this McCormick. And we're going to go over there and look at a couple of those fields that hopefully have just been recently harvested. And maybe we'll find one to cultivate for a change, because that's something we had wanted to do since episode 1, but we had failed on multiple occasions trying to find a field that we could cultivate. And I know that we're going to want that weight on the front of this if we end up doing that. And if not, it'll be good to help bounce at the tractor even with that cultivator. So field 16 and 17 are out. Fields 1, 2, and 3. Let me look at those on the map actually before we go over there. So field 2 here is 96%. It's mainly loam. Not great access, but it would make sense for what we've got. This one is 91%. Got a lot of clay in that, 92% clay. Field 3 is tiny, 100% clay, so that's not great. Field 2, let's go take a quick look at. before we head over. Oops, taking out the tree. So if we just follow field 18 down to the corner, this is field 2. Oh yeah, and that's why we didn't want anything to do with this, because it is sugar beets. Hey look, Fred's turning around in the sugar beet field. I mean, it is an interesting shaped field, and it does sort of attach, so I'm not totally against it. We just don't really need sugar beets. So since we're here, miss a spot, Fred. Since we're here, let's just go ahead and cut through, and we'll just cross the road into our own field here. And then we don't want to drive. Well, actually, it'd probably be fine. Yeah, it doesn't seem to damage it. All right, we can drive across our field. It's at the first growth stage. Probably still wouldn't want to do this with plants or with crops that you have growing, but it will let us, so we're going to do it. And here is our cultivator, which we've been meaning to pick up. Now, attached to this is this field. The access is at the bottom. Yeah, the access is at the bottom of the hill, but that's one potential. It looks like it's just been limed as well. And just has medium. Where are we? Field 35. Covered in weeds, but nothing on there. So that's a possibility. 35 is 35. Yeah, 35 is a possibility. Let's go ahead and get. But there's nothing on there, so I don't think that even needs cultivated necessarily. Is this the wrong end? Nope, that's the right end. The other thing I was thinking about was this one down here, but it looks like it has been plowed now. When I was down here the other day, it had not been plowed. Was this field 34? What does it look like? So 122%. Look at all that loam. So that's a good looking field. It's been plowed. Whoops. 35 also owns the roads. Interesting. 35 is the roads and all of this other random stuff. 34 might be a better bet. 122% potential is nice. 33 is at 119%. What's on field 33? Let's go find out. Because I don't think we can necessarily, we could cultivate the plowed state, so hey, we'd be able to use that for something. We'd probably want to come over here and lime it first or something. We'd get that field data and see what's going on. Before we did that, field 33 has cotton that has been harvested. Needs plowing. So we'd have to come over here and plow 33 first. So we could plow and cultivate 33. We could just cultivate 34 after we spread some fertilizer and some pH on there. Or we could... What's this? This is just wheat. 27 is wheat. Kind of a nice looking field. Let me just see what 27 looks like. Nah, a lot of clay. So yeah, some of these small fields might be nice. I think 34 is making the most sense if we wanted to expand, and it would give us something to cultivate. So it's kind of a win-win. I'm not sure what we would plant on it, but we don't necessarily have to figure that out today. And I did like the looks of this field, but I don't like that it's attached to all the roads in the map, and I just don't know what's going on here. It's just got weeds on it and maybe some lime, but I don't know, something feels weird about this field, so I think I'm going to pass on that one. So yeah, let's take a look at 34. I think that's going to be one that we're going to want to do. Let's just go back to the harvested state. So these 33 and 28 have been harvested. 34 has already been plowed. So let's see what's on 28. Sugar beets. So here, harvested sugar beets. Ooh, this one would be good. Oh, it also needs plowed. But it's a nice looking field. Let me see what that looks like. 112%. So, I mean, I could see that, but we're getting kind of far away from our yard to be hauling equipment over here to work on this one. And this is the one, 33 was also recently harvested. Oh, it was cotton and needs plowed. So we'd have to bring the plow over here for 33. Yeah, I don't know. I think we'll start with 34 and we can just keep it open for 33 and 28. It's a possibility. So let's go ahead and purchase 34, 122%. I like that. Go ahead and buy that. It's only 57,000. That way nothing else will happen to it. And then we're also going to want some soil data. So let's come down here, look at the soil data, purchase the soil information. And that is loam. Okay. pH is actually decent. Could use some. Nitrogen, definitely. So we could bring the fertilizer over here, lay some fertilizer on 34, then cultivate that in. I think that is the plan we will go with. So where's the entrance to this field we just bought? Clearly not down here. Getting all turned around. Let's, tight area to be making a 3-point turn like that, but come up here and looks like there's a break in the bushes here. So is this another yard that we owned or we could own? Or do we own this yard now? Yeah, we own this yard. Like buying that field also bought us this. So I guess let's park this in our new yard. Good to know. So we'll leave this right here. Turn those lights off. And now let's bring that, well, let's see how our plowing is doing, I guess, first. Missed a couple of strips at the top. We'll get turned around here. And we'll get these couple of spots cleaned up for Fred. He tries. He does a pretty good job, but misses a few things here and there. But overall, nice little field here. And we'll go ahead and lower that. And get this pulled up there. And that still missed this last little bit. Gosh. Get straightened out here. Lift that up and then run up here and do the same thing here, and then we'll run once across the end. And then we'll go trade out, grab our fertilizer. Yep, so then we just have to clear off the end piece here. And we're actually going to have to do the same thing probably over here. Spread some This is going to take 2 passes anyway, so we might as well just back up and get a nice wide run at it. And then we can come back and clean up anything that we missed. Like so. And hopefully this will catch the rest. I want to make sure we get centered here. Run across and get this picked up here. Yep, and that is nice and clean. All right. Well, yeah, actually, I think that's probably going to wrap it up for this episode. Let me run this back to the farm here. I just going to apparently ignore those shrubs entirely. Since we're so close to the yard, let's drop this off. So we've got a new field. We're going to come over and fertilize it and 18. They're both plowed. Then we can cultivate them both. And let me know how you feel about those last 2 fields we have available to us. What were the numbers again? 33 and 28. Both of those could also be plowed, planted, cultivated, all the things that we're doing on all the other fields. So these are some options. Let me know if you're interested at all in 33 or 28. And I will catch you guys in the next one. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed, please do. Ring that bell if you want notifications when new episodes are posted. And thank you so much for watching. See you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.